Okay guys, on the factoring test tomorrow, you're going to be given something like this. So I've got your squares, your cubes, and then kind of what you do. So you're always going to look for and take out a GCF, and then look at what's left. Do you have 2 terms, 3 terms, or 4 terms? And then from that, for your 2 terms, do you have squares or cubes? And if so, here's your formulas. Do you have 3 terms, no number in front, or do you have a number in front? And then 4 terms factoring by grouping. And once you're done, I put over here, double check for any leftover GCFs, put original GCF back into answer. So if you took something out way up here, make sure that you put it back into your answer. Okay, so I'm not going to use this every time because that would take me too long, but let's get started. So I'm going to take out a GCF. So 2x, I'm left with x squared minus 2x plus 1. I have 3 terms here, so I'm looking for what multiplies to give me 1 and adds to give me negative 2. So 1 and 1, and both are negative. So 2x, and it becomes x minus 1, x minus 1. Number 2, we haven't done any with the v, an extra letter, and I took those off the test, so don't worry about that. Okay, so here, I should have looked for a GCF, which I can't take anything out, so I'm going to multiply. So that becomes 15. 15, 1 and 15, 3 and 5. I'm looking for what adds to give me negative 8, which would be negative 5 and negative 3. Because I multiplied a number in, I need to divide it back out. And let me show you real quick on here. I put that when there's a number in front, multiply it in, divide it back out. So negative 3 divided by 5u, and negative 5 divided by 5u. So this one does not reduce. 5u minus 3. This one reduces to negative 1 over u, so u minus 1. And guys, you have time tomorrow to check your answer. At least do a quick check and multiply the first 2, 5u squared, and the last 2, positive 3. That's better than nothing. If you have time, I would go back and FOIL this out or multiply the whole thing. Number 3, no GCF, so let's go ahead and multiply. So that becomes 42, 1 and 42, 2 and 21. Oh goodness, 3 and 14. 4 doesn't go in, 5, 6 and 7, and that's it. So what adds to give me 17 would be positive 3 and positive 14. I multiplied that 6 in, so I'm going to divide it back out. This reduces to 1 over 2n, and this reduces to 7 over 3n. So 2n plus 1, 3n plus 7. Number 4 is in a weird order, so let's first put it back into standard form. There's no number in front, so what multiplies to give me this and adds to give me this? And I'm going to skip a couple steps here because I'm going to run out of time. Negative 5 times negative 7 is 35. Negative 5 plus negative 7 is negative 12. Number 5, take out a GCF, or look for a GCF. I can take out a 3a, and I'm left with a squared minus 9. Now here's our first 2-term one. So I go, okay, well I have 2 terms. Do I have squares? Do I have cubes? Well, I've got squares, and I'm being subtracted, so I'm going to split it up into this. So this is a and 3. So that becomes a minus 3, a plus 3. Number 6, you could take out a 4 from everything. Then I've got a number in front, so I multiply that in, positive 12. List your factors, it would be 2 and 6, both negative. So I multiplied the 3 in, I want to divide it back out. So, oh, sorry, that does not reduce. This one reduces to negative 2 over n. So 4 times 3n minus 2 times n minus 2. Okay, number 7, no GCF. There's a number in front, so I'm going to multiply that in, negative 30. You'd list your factors. I'm going to go ahead and go straight to this one, 5 and 6. This is positive, so I need a positive 6 and a negative 5. I multiplied the 10 in. I want to divide it back out. So this reduces to negative 1 over 2x and 3 over 5x. Listen guys, if you're unsure, multiply this out. This would be 10x squared plus 6x minus 5x minus 3. This combines to be a positive x, and sure enough, it's the same. Number 8, let's see, take out a GCF of 4c, so I'm left with 2c plus 7. I look at what's left. I've got 2 terms, but no squares or cubes, so I'm done. Number 9, no GCF. No number in front, so I can go straight to this. Factors of 5 are 1 and 5, and in order to get 6, it would be positive 1 and positive 5. So y plus 1, y plus 5. Number 10, there's no GCF, so I go 2 terms, and I see that things are being squared. So what's being squared here is 7c and 11. So 7c minus 11, 7c plus 11. Okay, number 11, no GCF. So let's go ahead and multiply. Positive 30. And I'm going to go straight to 5 and 6, and both negative. So I'm going to divide out the 10g. So that reduces to negative 1 over 2g, negative 3 over 5g. So 2g minus 1, 5g minus 3. Number 12, no GCF. I see that it squares y and 12, y minus 12, y plus 12. 13, take out a GCF of 6. 4a squared minus 9. These are both squares, so 2a and 3. So I get 2a minus 3, 2a plus 3. Let's see. Let's take out a GCF here. We've got a big one here. 5. Look at my x's. I can take out 1x and 1y. So I'm left with x squared y minus 4y plus 2x. And here's a trinomial, but I've got x's and y's, so I'm done. Now, number 15, I don't want you guys to get confused. When you find dimensions of a rectangle, you're just finding like length times width. It's just a regular factoring problem here. Okay, so I'm just going to multiply this in. Positive 36, I want to get negative 13, which would be negative 4 and negative 9. I multiplied that 4 in, so I want to divide it back out. That reduces to negative 1 over a. So a minus 1, 4a minus 9, that's the length and the width of the rectangle. This is the one that's a little bit different. They give you the area of the square, so let's first find the length of the sides. So you factor it like normal. So positive 9, 3 and 3, both positives. So divide each one by 9s. So that reduces to 1 over 3s. So 3s plus 1, 3s plus 1. Now, if you think of a square, this is one side of the square, this is another side. They want you to find perimeter. So if you think about perimeter, you just add all the sides together. Okay, so I have 4 sides. I'm going to multiply 3s plus 1, and I'll just distribute that. Okay, so don't let that fool you. It's not super terrible. Number 19, take out a GCF of negative 1. Remember, if it leaves with a negative, take that out. Then I've got a trinomial here. So what adds to give me this and multiplies to give me this? I'll do my factor chart. So 1 and 35, 5 and 7, negative 7, positive 5. So x plus 5, x minus 7. Number 20. So 20 and 21 are a little bit weird, but it's kind of already done for you. I take out x minus 2, and then my leftovers, 5x minus 3. 21, same thing. I'm going to take out the x plus 3. I'm left with 4x squared, and there's just a minus here, which means there's a minus 1. Now, here's where you have to be careful. So I put, like right here, double check for any leftover GCFs or anything that can be factored out. Okay, that's one. This is a good example of this one because the 4x squared minus 1, that's a squares. So 2x minus 1, 2x plus 1, and x plus 3. Okay, 22. 22, let's take out a GCF of 5x squared y. So I'm left with x squared minus 9xy plus 20y. Now, we, again, did not do the x and y's. Really, you can factor this one if I took the y's off. Since we didn't factor ones with doubles, I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, 23. Our first cubes. Okay, no GCF here. So on my cube list, right here, look, I've got 64 is 4 cubed, and 125 is 5 cubed. Okay, so I take 4x and 5. I put it into my binomial. If this is minus, this is minus. And then here is where I follow SOFAs, or you can follow the formula. The problem I see is on this term right here. When you square this, a lot of people forget to square the 4. So this becomes 16x squared. Change the sign, so plus. Multiply the two together, 20x. Add, and then square the second. 5 squared is 25. And that's it. There's nothing else to it. 24. Here's our first 4-term one. Factoring by grouping. So you group the first two and group the second two. And on your sheet here, that's all it says. 4 terms, factor by grouping. Take out the GCF of the first, which would be x. Take it out of the second. Negative y. If it leads with a negative, you take out a negative. Now I'm dividing by negative y here. So that goes away and that goes away. So I'm left with x plus 2. Because when you do 4 terms, you want these to be the same. So we take out the x plus 2, and I'm left with x minus y, and that's it. 25 is another cube one. This would be a and 6. So a plus 6. And then SOFA, so square the first, opposite sign, multiply the two together, add, and square the second. 26 is another 4 term, so group and group. I can take out a 2a, and I can take out a 3. There's my same term. And there's my answer. 27, you can take out a negative x. So I'm left with x squared plus 8x plus 15. So what adds to give me this and multiplies to give me that would be 3 and 5. Now listen, guys, as you're going through this, if you're confused, please, please, please come see me in the morning. I will be here if you have questions to help you out. On this one, I can take out a negative 2, so x squared plus 10xy plus 24y squared. Now again, there's that double letter. Let's look at it without the y for a second. What adds to give me 10 and multiplies to give me negative 24 would be 4 and 6. And the only thing with the y is it goes here and here. But I think I took those off the test. I'm pretty sure. So again, if you have questions, I know I went fast. Go back, rework some, rewrite the problem down, and try to do it on your own. Okay, that's the best way to study for this. Here's this one more time. If you need to look at it, just pause it here and then keep it on your computer screen. Again, I'll be here in my classroom in the morning by 7. So come and work with me until the bell rings. It's better than nothing.